So one of the reasons I'd like to talk a little bit more about the shooting tethered with medium format cameras, because if you haven't done that before, you're really missing out on something. This is so cool to be able to, instead of just looking at the images, even though Hasselblad has a really big 3-inch viewing screen on the back, trying to get the right angle, and if you're in a room and are you too high, you're too low, is the image too bright, is it too dark, and you're just not seeing really much of anything when you look at this. But if you're shooting tethered and you can have a nice big image on your laptop computer, I use the 17-inch MacBook Pro, and this really pops it up. So you can check your focus to find out really quick whether you have a focus problem. You can see if you have something going on in the image that you really don't want to be there. Enables you to fix. I don't know how many times I've saved myself a lot of retouching by being able to check the image on the computer screen and say, oh, look at that, there's a foot from a light stand or whatever that happens to be going on in the image. So that's one reason why I really want Hasselblad to get this glitch fixed, is because being able to shoot tethered like this is just really cool. The other thing too with the Focus software, they're really getting it improved to where now they have they're starting to catch up with Lightroom and with Camera Raw with some of the controls that you have there. We've got the recovery for images that are a little bit too overexposed. We've got shadow fill to help us out in that area. So that's another thing. But this thing that's really outstanding is if you're shooting in a Wi-Fi zone, so that you have Wi-Fi access on your computer, and if you have an iPhone, this is really something it's just so neat. And I don't know whether it's got a lot of practical application or not. I guess time will tell. But it's with art directors and things that I have standing there, and with clients that I've got standing around me, to be able to pull out an iPhone and hand it to them and say, here, you can watch the computer if you want to. It's really neat. So let me just let's see if you can see this on the screen here. And I've got my iPhone out here, and so we're gonna choose, and I'm gonna go ahead and expose an image. And since we're shooting with just existing light here in the studio, and I'm shooting at f11 with ISO of 100, it was a 4-second exposure. So it's captured the exposure, it's sending it across now, and there it is. It's up on the iPhone. And if you turn it horizontal, you get the horizontal look. And this is another thing, you can even, like on other images, you can even, you can even expand the image and make it larger by just taking and moving your fingers like that, like you do with other images on the thing. So that's really neat. And of course, if you have an iPad, it's even better, because with the iPad, of course, the viewing area is much bigger, and so you can see the image a lot bigger. So that's that is just kind of a cool little aspect of shooting tethered, and especially if you're in a Wi-Fi zone. A little bit about just about going with medium format as opposed to the DSLR cameras. And I'm not a person that thinks that medium format is what you should shoot for everything, because I think you have to have a variety of tools. And DSLRs are fantastic for a lot of things. For example, a lot of times when I'm shooting architecture, I will pull out my D3X and photograph with that, because I have a much wider angle lenses with that, and you have much longer telephoto lenses. Now, if you're an action shooter or sports shooter or something like that, DSLRs, you're not going to beat them. I mean, it's pretty tough shooting a football game or a kid's soccer match or whatever it is with one of these Hasselblads out there. It's just not going to work for you. So I really recommend that maybe you need to have a couple of cameras. Now, if you only do one thing and you have a very small niche that you fill, then yeah, you can go with the medium format, and it'll work for you for just about everything. But Okay, the next thing I'd like to just mention, probably the last thing here on this little video that I'd like to talk about is if you are thinking about moving to medium format, there is another really big plus. And especially with the Hasselblad, I can't speak to what other camera manufacturers are doing, but we talked a little bit earlier about the phenomenal file quality, and part of that has to do with being able to have a full 16-bit color depth. Now, a lot of the DSLRs, when you take the images and you load them into Photoshop and stuff, they say 16-bit, but they're really not. Some of them are 12, some of them are 14s, and that's as far as it gets. But with the Hasselblad medium format system, you're getting a full, true 16-bit color depth, which really it really pops that color up and gives you a lot smoother of an image when you go. And I find that with my architectural photography, when I have to shoot with say my Nikon, and on a couple occasions I've made the same image with the Hasselblad image, after you're done cropping, manipulating the image, color correcting, the images from the Hasselblad are just much smoother and much nicer looking than I'm getting with the DSLR. And one last thing that you want to really consider, and that is how much computing power do you have? Because this Hasselblad, you know, these files are big. They're not small, they're very large. And I work on a Mac Pro, not the latest and greatest version, but it's a 2.93 gigahertz processor, I believe it is. But let me tell you, when you've done what you're doing and you hit save, it takes a while to save. You know, you're not quite to the point to where you want to go to lunch, but you know, have a snack or something, because it will take a time. So you want to think about how much computing power you have. And I'm showing here, for demonstration, we set up our MacBook Pro just to kind of show you the images coming up on this. And it works. It's good for previewing, but I wouldn't want to try actually doing something in Photoshop with this, which of course I have done in the past on projects out. And let me tell you, when you do, it's excruciatingly slow. So you want to really consider that you've got enough computing power, a lot of RAM built in, and it doesn't hurt to have like the fastest processors that are out there currently. If you're looking at going to like the 60 megapixel camera. Now my 39 H3D, which is with the 39 megapixel back, which is what I had before this camera, I upgraded to the 60. That was fine. My Mac Pro handled that quite readily, and even if I had as many as 6, 7, 8, 9 layers in Photoshop, it would still handle those images quite well. But with the 60, one layer, you're already seeing a big slowdown, and by the time you get 2 or 3 layers, you've got some time on your hands while the computer is computing. So that's it for now. Check out my Facebook page, Facebook/Greg Phelps Photography. Facebook.com/Greg Phelps Photography. Sign up, become a friend, keep up to date. We'll be posting things on there. You'll see some of the latest projects that we're doing, and key in case you have want help with getting your business up to speed and running under these tough economic times that we're having going on. So we'll talk to you later. Bye for now.